Hello everybody, I hope you are all well and welcome back to another Doctor Who vinyl record review. In today's review I'm going to be taking a look at the Record Store Day exclusive release for 2021 as a part of the Doctor Who Demon Music Group Who vinyl series. Now the release for this year is in fact ever so slightly different to usual, as normally these records are focused around the original television soundtracks. Some of the most recent examples include the likes of the Ice Warriors and the Horror of Fang Rock, and of course coming soon we have the release of the Mythmakers. However, this time round Demon Music Group have decided to release a slightly different record. This time it is of course Terry Nation's Dalek Terror, which is in fact the audiobook annuals from the 1960s and 1970s, of course presenting various different adventures with the Daleks in a rather quick speed comic book format. Now the main theme with Record Store Day, as always, is of course these releases are exclusive to local record shops, so there is a select amount of retailers throughout the UK that will be stocking the Record Store Day exclusive releases, and the main aim is to support your local record shops, so I most certainly recommend going to those and checking if they have any stock left. This is a limited edition vinyl record, and usually once these releases are sold out, they are sold out for good. I do believe due to COVID, some record shops may in fact still be stocking this online, so it is most certainly worth a look. And as well, if there is any stock left over, normally after a few months, maybe around August time, usually some of the remaining stock does in fact end up on Amazon, however at a slightly higher price. That said, in fact, if you are watching this review at the current time of upload, I was in fact checking eBay simply out of curiosity to see if there was any of these available on there. There are currently some stock available for around £30, so considerably reasonable actually, considering that this is a double LP release. So for once, eBay actually has some reasonable prices, so if you actually want this record, I most certainly recommend picking it up soon in order to avoid disappointment. So as always with these reviews, of course this video is going to be focusing solely on the record itself and basically what you get for the price, taking a look at the presentation, and most importantly, what colour is the vinyl for this release. It's the Demon Music Group, so naturally it's probably going to be a very stunning colour indeed. I know it's going to be a stunning colour. It's a lovely orange, but yes, it's worth it for the price alone. So yes, let's get into the actual record itself and take a look at what you get for the price. The style of this record set overall departs from the usual style of the Who vinyl series, presenting original television soundtracks from classic Doctor Who. The departure from this format for this year's Record Store Day exclusive release is refreshing, and this is clearly realised on the cover artwork. Initially, I must admit I wasn't too taken by this design, probably because I really do love the Oink Creative artworks. However, having now got this record in person, it is really growing on me. The main artwork carries a style that can be seen throughout, with an action-packed explosion design. The text at the very top replicates the bold comic book style of the original Dalek annuals, reading Terry Nation's Dalek Terror. The modern BBC logo has been moved to the right as opposed to usually being in the centre. I say modern as at the very bottom we have the lovely design choice of including the classic BBC TV logo in italics, which is a really great touch, as well as making this record look rather retro in its design overall. The central artwork continues the action with two Daleks rising from a plume of smoke. I love the way that the background has been designed, with bold black lines emphasising the different clouds of smoke, alongside whooshes of lines mimicking movement, and the colour range from blues, greys and greens, bringing all of this to life. A subtle dotted, almost Andy Warhol-inspired design has also been featured in the very middle behind the Daleks, which again is a really lovely touch. The Daleks are a blend of eras featuring both classic series and new series designs. Again, this design actually suits the vinyl cover style quite well, featuring a surprising amount of smaller detail, from bolt screws on the Dalek slats, shading on the hemispheres, and the Dalek eye stalk discs all feeling rather in proportion. I love the way that this design is clearly comic book illustration, but certainly isn't basic in its use of detail. When I first seen the initial images of this record, I did think it was going to include lots of block colour and overall the design be rather basic. Now I've got this record in hand, it is in fact far from the truth. It features lots of lovely smaller details and textures, really bringing the artwork to life and visually making it look interesting. Flipping around to the back of the record sleeve, we have a better look at that smoke style design, which naturally I have the same compliments for as I did with the front cover. A very unusual touch is the From the Worlds of Doctor Who insignia at the very top, which is most commonly associated with the Doctor Who Big Finish spin-off cover arts, and I really like this uniformity of bringing this in from another one of Doctor Who's ranges and showing that the Doctor Who universe is in fact a wide expanse of Doctor Who adventure extended from the TV show itself. The centre states the stories that have all been written by Terry Nation and read by Nicholas Briggs, Matthew Waterhouse, Louise Jameson and John Culshaw, a really nice selection of people who've contributed to Doctor Who throughout the years. At the bottom we finish off with a little bit of usual company information. Opening up the double LP, we are greeted by this beautiful Skaro City design, inspired by the cityscape that we see throughout the 12th Doctor story, The Magician's Apprentice, which also took some inspiration from the original Dalek story back in 1963. At the top we have the inclusion of some further production credits for the record, as well as the original annual publications back from the 70s. The image is beautiful, using orange, yellow and red specks across the sky in an almost wet watercolour splotch fashion, making Skaro at sunset actually look like quite an appealing holiday resort, rather than a war-torn deadly alien world. The city buildings are picked out in minute style, roughly detailed in a fine line, featuring orbs, struts and spires all accumulating into this grand cathedral-esque central building, accompanied by a series of hills to bulk out the landscape and further Skaro terrain. Overall, this is a lovely piece of artwork that really makes the city look like a wide expanse, and again is one of the highlights of this product. Sliding out the records, of course this is a double LP collector set, and each of the records compact with the usual sleeves in order to protect the record on the inside. Both feature exactly the same style guide, one of which is a continuation of the previously covered artworks, however this time they've been blended together, featuring the two Daleks from the central cover art and of course the Skaro cityscape from the inside of the record sleeve, and these work really well together. On the opposite side, we have the inclusion of the contents for each record, stating what stories can be found on each side, who they are read by, and what I really like is where they were originally published. Both of the record sleeves also feature small images of the original Dalek annual front covers from 1976 and 1979. It's little touches like this that I imagine will really appeal to the collectors. The records themselves are a vibrant, eye-catching design, as always, because it is the Music group and they do an excellent job. The base colour is a clear yellow with a series of tiny flecks of yellows, orange and darker reds colour dropped throughout the record itself, making the extermination splatter design. What I really love about these records overall is it regenerates the vinyl for the 21st century. Of course, rather traditionally, records were usually a standard black. However, as we are moving into more modern times, we're seeing a wide variety of different colour presentations which really do sell the records and visually make them look exciting. And of course, one of the other additional benefits of using colour is that each individual record is unique. So there we have it, that is my review of Terry Nation's Dalek Terror, featuring two lovely Daleks there on the front from both classic series and new series Doctor Who. What I really like about this design is that it has in fact grown on me. When I originally seen the announcement, I really wasn't particularly too fussed. I really like the original television soundtracks. I like the upcoming release of The Mythmakers, for example, because it is a more obscure classic Doctor Who serial that doesn't particularly get too much attention. But that said, I've never read the Dalek annuals. I've never in fact experienced any of the Dalek comics. Therefore, this is going to be a really interesting listen, I think, because it is split into various different stories. And to be honest, if you're a fan of Doctor Who vinyl, I think that said for the product alone, it is a really lovely addition to the collection because it is something different. And being a Doctor Who fan that has collected Doctor Who merchandise now for quite a number of years, this is a release that stands out. It's something that's new, it's something that's exciting, and I suppose one release that's new and exciting compared to another original television soundtrack is something that is worth adding to the collection, I think. So if you're a fan of Doctor Who vinyl, then yes, I most certainly recommend at least considering this release, because overall the design is really nice, and even if you don't listen to it, I think it's just generally a nice addition to the vinyl collection, and more importantly perhaps a Dalek serial that you may have never have listened to, being able to experience it for the first ever time within the vinyl format. So thank you very much for watching this review showcase. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Do of course stay tuned on the Host Productions for brand new Doctor Who content on a fairly regular basis. I hope you have a lovely day. I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.